Don't miss any content. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
Welcome back to Sahara Football. Today we're going to talk about the Afcon 2021-2022. When will the qualifiers be played? I'm going to reveal everything to you in today's video. So many things to consider considering the Afcon. We don't know what happened. We were supposed to play qualifiers in March. It couldn't come off. Afcon was supposed to be in January 2021. It couldn't come off. Now, with coronavirus disrupting the whole footballing calendar, the Euros will be held in 2021 July, meaning Afcon cannot be held around that time. Even before that, it couldn't be held in June, July 2020 because of the weather conditions in Cameroon at that time. So possibly next year, 2022, which is a World Cup year, would be the next available date. I'll be looking at the Afcon when the qualifiers will also resume. Remember, we've played only 2 rounds of qualifiers, so the other 4 rounds need to be played. I'll also be talking to you about Thomas Partey's move to Arsenal. Another former player has pitched in his thoughts on that, and he is in the person of Richard Olile Kingson. As usual, if you're new to the channel, I advise you to subscribe to the channel and to click on the notification bell to get more updates. So, COVID-19, we all know the damage it has caused in terms of football. It disrupted our footballing, disrupted a lot of lives on it. Most people died from COVID-19, and it has been something that has been the highlight of 2020. What a year 2020 has been. Now, with COVID-19 disrupting the footballing calendar, the qualifiers were supposed to have in March 29th. I was really looking forward to it, traveling around with the Black Stars. It's quite interesting, but because of the COVID-19 outbreak, we had to halt all footballing activities. CAF cancelled all their competitions. The CHAN 2020, which was scheduled for April, also had to be cancelled. So many things were disrupted by this coronavirus pandemic, and now we are looking to get back to normalcy. Most of the football leagues have resumed, and they are looking to wrap up their seasons. The English Premier League will follow suit after they decided that June 17th will be the date for the resumption of their league. They are following suit, and all the other leagues have started. Italy have played their Coppa Italia semi-final second legs, and they are looking also to get back on track in terms of the league and decide the winner of the league and possibly the one who will go into Champions League. Now move to Africa. We have the Afcon 2021 to think of. When will that be played? And we don't know the teams that have qualified for that tournament yet. Afcon 2021 had played 2 rounds of qualifying games. We have 4 more rounds to go, and we don't know which teams are going to the Afcon yet. 24 teams will be going to the Afcon most definitely, and Ghana winning their first 2 games will be looking to join those 24 in the end. But CAF have brought out a tentative date for when the qualifiers will be played, and I'm going to reveal to you the plan by CAF. It looks like we will have to play the qualifiers in October, and the tournament itself most likely will have to be in 2022, which you have to remember is a World Cup year. And that conundrum of African players complaining about going to the Afcon in a World Cup year being the reason why we changed it to an odd-numbered year would be thrown into the bin. I think we'll have to make an adjustment, with La Liga games being played every single day till they finish their league matches. I think this is a small price to pay for the disruption COVID-19 has caused the world. Now, the Continental Football Governing Body is still optimistic its flagship tournament will go ahead in 2021 of January, but has a plan B in place. Now, the CAF General Secretary says moving the Afcon 2021 tournament to June or July is not an option, but January 2022 would be an alternative in the event that the finals fail to be staged next year. Now, qualifying matches for Afcon have been postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a move that could see the final scheduled to be hosted by Cameroon from January 9th to February 6th, 2021 being moved to later dates. CAF has already cancelled the March and June qualifiers, and the General Secretary says it is now impossible to have August matches go ahead as planned. This is what he said. What we can say is that all the confederations hope to be able to play again this year, and each is making its own arrangements. In this regard, The Asian Confederation has announced that it will resume the qualifications. The African Confederation has announced that it will resume the qualifications in October and November, and at CAF we subscribe to this logic. The international windows scheduled for March and June have been cancelled, but the months of October and November 2020 represent a lot of hope. We no longer include September in the strategies because it will be quite complicated to have the teams travel from one country to another as early as September. This means that the matches can resume locally, but international matches will be difficult to be held because of the travel factor. Ba, who is the General Secretary of CAF, says if Afcon fails to take place in January 2021, the next best option would be to stage the tournament 12 months later. He says switching the tournament to June 2021 would see Afcon suffer counter-attraction from the European competition and Copa America. If we cannot make up for 2021 qualifiers in October and November, we will have to think of another plan. But today, the longer the crisis lasts, the more this scenario deserves to be thought about. Afcon next January, however, remains our number one priority. January 2022 is a second option. Afcon 2022, as everyone knows, playing in June, July in Cameroon is difficult because of the weather conditions. In addition, in June, July 2021, there is a competition which is the Euros and Copa America. Also affected by the COVID-19 is African Nations Championship, which is the CHAN I have talked to you about. It was due to be played in April in Cameroon, the same country, as well as the African Women's Cup of Nations, which was slated for November, and CAF admits that both competitions would be difficult to reschedule. The current CAF Champions League and Confederations Cup campaign, which were stopped at the semi-final stage, would however resume very soon. With regard to that, this is what he said. We can announce here that the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup are the competitions by which we will resume very soon. Besides, this year we have 4 magnificent posters not to be missed. Said. So this is the plan, comprehensive plan there by CAF to get football back on track. Their target is to get it back on track by January 2021 and have the Afcon play there. And that will only be possible if they are able to play the qualifiers in October. So a lot of dynamics there. But the second option, which should be considered as the COVID-19 pandemic still raves on, is that the Afcon will have to be shifted 12 months later to 2022 in Cameroon. And the CHAN and the African Women's Nations Cup has been something that could not be rescheduled. It will be difficult to reschedule those tournaments, and it's something that we have to consider. The sooner cure or whatever COVID-19 problem is sorted out, we will have to re-strategize, and possibly most of the tournaments will have to be played behind closed doors. A cure for COVID-19 will save us all the trouble. So hopefully we get one sooner rather than later. I move on to my final story for today, and it has to do with Thomas Partey's move from Atletico Madrid to Arsenal. We all know it has become the top news of the summer transfer window. Where will Thomas Partey continue his career come next season? A lot of talks have indicated that England is his next destination. A former player of his, which is Richard Kingson, over the weekend talked about the possibility of him leaving Atletico Madrid. He feels that the Ghanaian international should move away from his current club and thinks it is time for him to leave. This is what Kingson said. Of course, Partey can go to England. In football, it is a season, he told Joy FM. He has already made his name there in Spain. He needs also to go to the toughest league to play. Partey is young. Partey is now coming. It's now coming up. So I think going to England is a plus. He has to go, he added. So this is Richard Kingson giving his thoughts on the Thomas Partey argument. Should he go to Arsenal? Should he go to England? He says this is the time for him. He has done well for Atletico Madrid, and he feels he has paid his dues enough. What do you think about Richard Kingston's opinions there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments box. So I've been talking to you about the Afcon 2021/2022, depending on how soon we get a vaccine for COVID-19 and how soon the pandemic comes to an end. Remember, the 1918 pandemic took 3 years to come to an end. Hopefully COVID-19 doesn't take that long. Reports indicate that it probably as early as November or the end of the year, December, we might have a vaccine in place. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that happens and we can have the Afcon then in 2021. If not, we will have to make it 2022. Also, I've been talking to you about Richard Olele Kingston's opinion on Thomas Partey's move to England. He says, my friend, it's time to make that move. Let me know your thoughts on everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your day.